Going.
Alright.
Hello, and we're back with another episode of the MonBlues Podcast. This time we're joined by Kirkcaldy captain Josh Laird and up-and-coming centre Thomas Glendinning. So first of all, Josh, we'll just start if you could tell us a bit about yourself.
My name is Josh, obviously. I captained Kirkcaldy this season. I've been at the club ever since I was a wee bairn. I spent a few years away when I think it was 18, 19, 20. Came back to the club and I've had a good kind of spell. Good 3 years here. Went up the second season I came back. That was a really good season, really good laugh. Kind of struggled a bit the next season. Then I have enjoyed this season kind of as captain. It's been brilliant. Just playing with a bunch of mates and stuff, getting a chance to have a good crack with them again. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then Thomas, could you just tell us a bit about yourself as well?
Well, a bit like Josh, been at Kirkcaldy since I was a wee boy, and then first season playing senior rugby, so got a few chances playing along with Joshy boy here. But yeah, it was a good season, got a bit of experience in playing along, getting a wee bit of know-how from different kinds of players and seeing how the next step up with adults, what the big boys are like.
Yeah, and then so what did you both think of the season for Kirkcaldy? What did you take away from it as a squad?
I think what we could take away is there was a lot of potential in the squad for us to go on and do well. We had a really good streak. We went unbeaten for a good few games. I can't remember what the number was, but I think it was like 9-10 games or something unbeaten. A lot of boys stepped up to the mark. A lot of guys stepped up to the mark who potentially we never kind of seen going to do it. We had Chris step in as the forwards coach this year. Thought he'd done a really good job. Quinny obviously still is the head coach, and kind of as a captain for my first season. It was interesting because the likes of Greg Wallace, I think this was the first year in years where he's not kind of been about as much as he would have been. So it's a big change for us, but I think it was good. We kind of fell off a bit towards then. We got a few injuries and stuff. Being the club that we're in, we always kind of struggle a little bit with depth. But again, that just gave another few guys to kind of step up. Obviously, Thomas came in, was brilliant for us. Whenever we were able to get him, whenever we were lucky to have him. And I thought it was a really good season. A good season in terms of going on to next season and pushing on to go again. So, yeah, really good.
Yeah, and Thomas, do you have anything to build on that?
Yeah, just the start of the season, we came out flying. And as Josh said, we came to the end, started falling off with injuries. But as a whole, I think it was a good season. And then if it kept going, I think we could have went close to top 3, possibly. If we had got that winning streak back, it was just getting back out of that win-loss kind of momentum.
Yeah, and then Thomas, what was it like to play alongside a senior player like Josh, just coming straight out of Colts, and it's quite good when you've just came up to have such an experienced centre inside you.
It was good, yeah. Give a bit more confidence, just like you knew he was there for if you had any questions asked, sort of like ask the questions, like made me feel more comfortable when it came to games. And like he's a bit like myself, like to express our own play style, so we just sort of bounced off each other that way. One would go, right, I'm doing this, you're following me, and then we'd just go that way, just bouncing off each other. It was good. Yeah,
and Josh, how was it for you to play alongside a young player like Thomas?
It was good. It was really good, actually. Kind of as what Thomas said. I think we bounced off each other well. I was kind of caught in a conundrum at times because Thomas was wanting to run everything everywhere. Inside the 22, he's wanting crossfield kicks and grubbers fit in. But then my first season as captain, I'm trying to maintain a bit of a cool head, man. As much as I backed him for going for it, I was trying to keep things under wraps. So, it was good. He was confident to make his own calls. He was confident. He knew what he wanted to do, and that actually kind of helped a lot of the boys out. Gave us a bit of sense of direction, and it was really good.
Yeah, and then so as some of the Blues fans might know, both of you are going to be leaving Kirkcaldy now that the season's finished. So, Josh, we'll start off with you. Where are you heading away to?
I'm going to England to play in that too for a team called Bury St Edmunds. It was a bit unexpected, to be honest with you, because my original plan was to go away just for the summer and play a bit of rugby and return in September and just link up with the club and play again. But with everything that's kind of went on with the COVID-19, it wasn't going to look like I was able to. So I wanted to go and play in maybe like New Zealand, Australia, something like that. But then the season's only going to kick off until March. So then I'd signed up for a recruitment website, and the guy had said, look, it's not going to happen for you that way, but you might have a bit of UK interest. So I just said, right, I'll explore the option kind of thing. Then Bury St Edmunds kind of popped up, and then it just seemed like a good kind of opportunity. I finished uni and stuff now. I've really loved my time at the club, and to be honest with you, having been a captain, having now captained the club, and it really meaning like so much to me, having done that, to being there for such a young age, I just kind of felt like, right, I can happily kind of leave instead of kind of struggling with the decision, because I hadn't planned on actually leaving, and I was going to just go for the summer. It wasn't an easy decision to make, but it was one of them that once I'd spoke to everybody within the club and everybody who I kind of wanted to speak to, they were the ones kind of pushing me at the door, which was good, which was kind of, it really helped me and stuff. But for Bury St Edmunds, that's where I'll be playing next year.
Yeah, that sounds good, and we wish you all the best.
Cheers,
and then, Thomas, where are you moving away to in your rugby career?
Moving through to play for Glasgow Hawks. So it's just a uncertainty what I was doing next season, just to do with studying and stuff like that, and wasn't really sure where I was studying, but came to the conclusion of studying through at Strathclyde. So with rugby, with the academy and stuff like that, it was not the only option really was to stay through in Glasgow. So I was a bit iffy what I was going to do, either play Kirkcaldy or see another team, and then the academy set up a call with the Hawks, and it was just something I was like, worked out easier, best for me, and then also it's a wee challenge that I couldn't really turn down.
Yeah, definitely. And then, so you and Josh have had slightly similar pathways in managing to get into the age grade Scotland squad. And I wonder if you could just give us a bit of an insight into what that was like.
It's good, but it's challenging. Like, you're training constantly, but it's a high level of training. You're training with boys that you would think you would never see like different play styles sort of all coming together one, and it's kind of like you think it'd be kind of follow one sort of game plan. It is, we get given a baseline, and it's like, there's a baseline, you've got that to follow, but if you see something, just go for it. So it was challenging, but when you got towards the end, the training and that became more rewarding. Like, you knew what was coming towards the end of each training session. Like, for example, it was like down in Wales in February, and then before this whole lockdown and that, we had England coming up in March, so we all had that to sort of push forward for.
Yeah, and then Josh, was it pretty similar for you, or have a few things changed in the time that you?
For what I can gather, I think a few things have changed. I think Thomas gets a bit more contact time than I kind of got when I done it. I went up to Strath when I was, for my 5th and 6th year of high school. They call it lower six, upper six. My 5th and 6th year of high school, and that kind of changed it because it was more rugby orientated there, and they were kind of able to do all that kind of stuff there, and you were able to get a bit more contact time, maybe to the levels that Thomas is kind of getting now. But it was always a bit different going for, as you're saying, changing game plans. But roughly about that time, I kind of had a lot of the older lads like Gav McKenzie, Greg, Marky Wallace at the time who was playing, Ian Gillis, all these boys. They were really helping me out a lot. Quinny was head coach and stuff then, so Quinny was I was in contact with any of my coaches and that, and on my work on. So they were able to talk between what I'm needing to work on, what was needing to help. And I think that really helped my game kind of back then.
Yeah, and then Josh and Thomas, you both started off at Kirkcaldy, but your school pathways were a wee bit different from each other. So we'll start off with Thomas. Where did you study just as you left school in the summer?
Just along at Balweary. So yeah, finished just in Kirkcaldy itself, and then yeah.
Did you get much rugby time when you were at Balweary?
You got the wee bits. Got Corgi and Curtis and that coming in trying to run school rugby teams and stuff like that. But it was tricky with the numbers and that. But the rugby we did get was good and enjoyable, so it helped pull some boys along to the club, but also just helped us take over who the boys were playing rugby, just getting that extra wee bit of skill and stuff in that end.
Yeah, and then Josh, you linked up with Kirkcaldy legend Andy Henderson at Strathfallen. Could you give us a wee bit of an insight into what that was like?
Aye, it was brilliant. We were going for Buckhaven High School up that says me in the high school anyway, up to Strathfallen. That was a bit of a difference, like a bit of a fish out of water for a bit of time, like. But it was in terms of sporting stuff, it was brilliant. I wasn't too interested in the skill side of it, but see, like the sport and that, it was all at it. It really is kind of sport oriented up there, and it's one of them. If you are interested in sport and you're interested in a career in pursuing sport, that's the types of places where people kind of thrive. Like I went to school with a lot of boys who have went on to the good things, not just in rugby, but like there was a boy Duncan Scott who's went on to Team GB swimmer and that. He was insane. A lot of really good cyclists, slalom, skiing, and every sport under the sun. So it was really good. And you were able just to get your hands and get stuck in about any sport. I ended up playing a first game at hockey. That was an interesting one. So it was really good, really good.
And then you went to school with a few boys who are now in the Scotland setup, Edinburgh and Glasgow setup. So who were they that we're now seeing on the TV playing rugby week in, week out?
Aye, there was a good few. So there was Jamie Ritchie. All the Edinburgh boys were Jamie, obviously big Muzz McCallum, our coach. Cammy Fenton, really know what to leave boys out here. Cammy Fenton. Then the Glasgow boys were like Xander Ferguson, George Horn. Aye, I think that was about it. But a lot of other kind of lads who I can't really. A lot of other kind of lads went on to other avenues, like say doing into the Premiership, or like Joshua Henderson and stuff. He's playing Super Six now. He was involved with Scotland Sevens. He's doing really well for himself. And a few lads kind of just scattered the boot, but obviously all the lads who I just mentioned there now, they're doing really well for themselves. Especially like say Jamie and stuff who's tearing up the Six Nations. George will give him time. The second he gets a bit more playing time in a Scotland shirt, I think he'll just make that jersey his own.
Yeah, and then when you were at school with them, could you kind of see that they were going to go on to big things, or was it?
Aye, they big time. They had the mindset for it. Like the work ethic was there. You could really tell. They were very focused on it. They knew that this was an option for them, and they were very, very aware that they were going to go and do it. Like say, Mark Ferguson, he was on it. I've been rattling him, but I can't think of somebody else. Mark Ferguson, I know. Xander and Matt, the pair of them train like say religiously. And as I said, that any opportunity they got to kind of make the game better, they went and done it. They were in the gym all the time. They're really hard working guys. They knew what they wanted to do, and they were going to make the best of the situation that they were in.
Yeah, and now moving back to Kirkcaldy, what are you going to miss about Kirkcaldy, both of you, when you've moved away?
What will I miss about Kirkcaldy? The big thing's kind of the boys and the really family community that we've got at the club. It's a bit cliche to say, but it's a real joy kind of to go to training and on a like you work your arse off. Oh, she can't swear, sorry. You work as hard as you can on a Tuesday and a Thursday at training. Then when it comes to a Saturday, you really just enjoy it because you've got all the same faces all about the club. You've all the way for like say the team side of it. So you've got like say yourself Murray who's helping me all the time. Big Carl McKenzie and that who's all there. You've got all the coaches and all the team you're seeing all the time. But then you've also kind of got the backroom staff as well who are organising like say the dinners and stuff. And you see all the same faces about it. So I'll miss that kind of aspect that getting to meet up with everybody kind of once a week.
Yeah, Thomas, how about yourself?
Yeah, just the laugh really. Like all serious. Like we're serious in training, but we also just a laugh we could have as well before and after training, even the games. Like coming down and even though we only got 2 bus trips, good laughs on them. It's just stuff like that. Like as Josh said, a bit cliche, but like it's like family sort of. Everyone's welcome, kind of. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone gets along. There's no bad blood, really. It's just everyone having a good time and playing rugby.
Yeah, and then Josh, something that you're going to miss next season is not having Finlay and Craig to cry at. The centres. You'll maybe just have to cry with Tom Varndale next season.
I don't think he's going to be up for it. I'll just need to phone Craig and Finlay every Saturday. Try and split them up for the England, see if I can.
Yeah, and then now I'll let Corgi crack on with the bag to give you a bit of a grilling.
Gentlemen, that's been really good so far. I've enjoyed that. Some great stories. We're going to go into the bag now. As you know, the Kirkcaldy bag is full of tricks. You've seen it before on the other podcasts. Just looking for you to shout out names. Probably Kirkcaldy folk or people we all know who basically stand out as people who maybe don't do the right thing all the time. I know the nose folk do. When you give me the answer, I'll probably ask you to expand on the story. So first and foremost, here, oh gosh, I've got football. So that could be a family member or anything like that, or it could be yourself, you know. So who likes a bit of football?
I'll take this one. Thomas stupidly thinking that he was going to go down the football route instead of rugby.
You know, he's the most mischievous football player I've ever seen in my life with a head like a bit of the stadium. So
was he good? I've never actually seen him play.
Honking. Listen, I know the PE teachers, as you know, because I'm across at the school, and they really had they were upset that he didn't play. And I think more than them, the team you were playing for, what team was it, Thomas? Did you play for?
Glenrothes Strollers.
Yeah, they were quite upset. I seen a Facebook post, was it, when you told them you were leaving?
Yeah.
What was on that then?
So it was, well, like the coach sort of knew, like I spoke to him, like this is happening this season, like I'm not sure what's happening in football and that. And then he was always just trying to get me to get one more game, sort of just do like a wee send-off sort of thing. But it never happened, just with training camps and stuff like that. So I just got
your ankle or something like that, you know, that would be the
so got just one Sunday was able to get up. I think I was injured maybe. That's what the reason I was able to get up. And he got all the boys just to sign our rugby balls, just saying all the best and just go and do it basically.
That's good.
Josh, you got any family members that play football?
Aye, my wee brother's a really good football player. He's in these 5 under-20 squad. He's made a couple first team appearances and that as well. So he's the good football player of the family.
What's his name? So, you know, obviously you're going professional, but he'll make big money if he goes professional. So we maybe need him, you know. So what's his name?
Nathan Laird. Aye. He was a wee blue for a while, but he actually really hurt his wrist and kind of had to stop playing for a bit. And It went the way that all his mates kind of got into rugby. All got into football, sorry. So he just kind of failed in that way. But I think it's for the best because, as you're saying, he goes well with that. That's the family money, sorry. Aye.
Good for him. Okay, then we'll go on to some of the ones. I think you've seen maybe some of these before, but obviously the one we want to see and the one we want to hear about is who does their marching orders all the time, who gets sent off for the club.
Well, see, the obvious one's Greg, but I bet he's already been.
Is it Muzz? You can maybe say he's never been mentioned, Greg, I don't think, does he?
No, Greg's not been mentioned.
Oh, no, wasn't he? The next one's quick one.
It's Greg or Owen for me. Greg or Owen Bonner for me. That's
I've seen it.
I remember which dinner did I do the PowerPoint presentation at, and there's a picture of them both smacking this boy. What game it was. Thomas, don't you watch that? That's terrible.
The funniest one I seen was we were playing up through it. I don't know if it was Glasgow Arcade. It was a team through in Glasgow. I don't know what had happened, but Owen had gotten into a bit of a scuffle with the touch judge down the bottom side, and I'd turned round and I'd seen Rhys Bonner Phil going up for it. And I'm thinking to myself, this touch judge isn't going to make it. There's 2 boners on it.
You were thinking to yourself, why no run like that when he's playing?
I can't wait. Aye. No, they kind of lash out from time to time, but that makes especially Owen, that makes Owen the player it is.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's pure passion in that. I don't think it's actually violence or dirty playing.
No.
It's just he's so passionate about stuff, and it gets to the point where he hates injustice, I think, more than anything else, So
Aye, he cares.
Smallest enforcer in the world that I've ever. You know what? Thomas, so was anybody that who gets the rouge?
The best one for me must have had to be Connor Wood this season down in Peebles.
It was only a yellow.
But it was only a
red eye. It should have been a red eye.
Or Woody got the Falkirk one, where it was never a red, but
no.
But yeah, that was my mistake. Yeah, but
can you describe what happened in Peebles for people that maybe never seen it? Because it was phenomenal. I was driving the night, and I was down watching. I'm thinking to myself, oh no, I know. I played a bit of rugby. I know exactly what's going to happen.
All I remember was, I think it was, they kicked the ball, so I chased back thinking Finlay and Owen were back there thinking, all right, so we're going to run this. I get there, Finlay boots it, so all right, Owen puts him on side, we're both running. And for some reason, OJ looks back, and then it's just a boy absolute clatters Finlay late.
Oh yeah, the number 8.
And then we seen the ball go out, and the next thing, Woody comes flying over and just absolutely melts the boy.
Oh, aye. For people who've never met Woody, he's the most placid guy in the world. Yeah. But he's 6'5". He must be about 18 stone. He's reasonably fit for that side, and he's horizontal. He's like it.
Torpedo.
And I'm thinking, oh no, Finley's going to get hurt because.
I got absolutely demolished after it. I know.
I'm pretty sure I ended up pulling their wee 9 off you, Josh.
Aye.
I always try to be the good captain, splitting fights up. So I'm looking this way, try to split and get him.
And then for nobody to get sent off, it was bizarre. It was absolutely bizarre. But funny moment in history. And of course, I've got Jimmy Bonner standing next to me.
Say no more.
I can't repeat on here what you said. I do like a good Red Star story, and as a referee, I've given a few myself, and unfortunately, it was because of a red card that I ended up refereeing. I'll never tell that story one day.
Is that right?
So obviously you two guys have been round about a bit, but the Tiger Balm then. So who likes to rub down? Who's the injured person in the club out of that first?
Gav.
Josh.
I'd say Gav or Josh, you like.
I didn't realise first time ever this has got braille on it, so you can be injured and blind playing rugby.
Oh, can you? That's ideal. That's perfect for Connor Little, John.
Deal live, but deal. So who's always on the table then? So we've got Gav. He's got
Josh or Gav
as well. Gav's calves every game without fail. Is there anybody else? I'd probably nominate myself. I know.
You do like a bit of time off, you do like a bit.
Just like the attention.
We might as well just name the whole squad.
On a cold Saturday morning, though, that's the only room with a heater in the club, so everybody just kind of buckles in there. Corey gets sick of us.
The best thing about being a referee now, and they say, oh, you better go and do your warm. Aye. All the referees room have got heaters on. You just turn the heater up and stick your arse against it.
You've got the right idea.
Guys are far better than that. You guys are much better. Okay. Right, what we've got here, I've got some shower gel. So if you're looking at the showers, who takes the longest in the shower?
Josh.
Wow. Me without doubt.
Easy.
Because I'm going to say, who locks up on a Tuesday?
You can answer to this.
Tuesday. And we're still there at 10 o'clock sometimes.
It's like it was me and Kenny in the trash who are left every session.
I'm thinking myself, Kenny Trash has no hair. What he's walking with? Right.
We're just like a wee blather.
Aye. Do you
His
do
first
like,
one in.
then you do like a bit blather and that, and you just feel you get the best of each other in there, do you?
Aye, assume what you will.
We need to get Kenny here to get his side of the story, I think.
Aye.
Good guys. Right. You've probably seen as well with the bag, I normally bring it, as I've told a lot of people, if it's still on, hopefully Teresa and I, beautiful Mrs. Corgi, I'm going to South Africa next year for our 30th winning anniversary. And we'll take in some of the Lions and maybe go on a bit of safari if we can. But so the Lions is a big thing next year, and I think for the sake of rugby, it has to go ahead financially for South Africa, and airlines and all that sort of stuff, and hotels are all going to need money. So, but as we've said all the way through, you two played 12 and 13 all season together. So I'm going to put you under pressure. They're starting 12 and 13 for the British Lions next season against South Africa. I wonder if you could maybe give me a bit. So, Josh, if you give me the 12 first and then Thomas 13. You're always greeting about not being able to play the other position.
Well, purely because I seriously think that because they're running rugby, they're going to fit Finn Russell at 10. I think Owen Farrell at 12.
Right. Oh, wow.
I like Owen Farrell at 12.
Certainly did all right at the last Lions with Sexton and Farrell, but would be certainly a different threat with Finn Russell instead of Sexton. The movement onto the ball and the trickery and that. I think the altitude, and possibly that's a reasonable call actually. I'm not, I've seen a lot of rugby, as you know, and watched a lot of stuff. I don't know if that will suit Gatland, and I know what Gatland's probably going to phone us up this to get the advice of what you guys do. I don't know if Fanny would be off Finn Russell. He seems to drop players who are a bit risky. I remember probably one of my favourite players for the last 20 years was Lee Byrne, Welsh team, and he got housed out the Welsh team way before his time because he was phenomenal. I think he would have kept Williamson out of the team now.
He tore up the 09 tour when they were in South Africa the last time. He
scored a try, caught the ball on his own 22, did a chip and chase, and like Bigger, he catches 9 out of 10 of the balls he chips, but he didn't catch this one. It landed, he volleyed it, and then out sprinted the winger in the scrum half to score just at the side of the post. His vision, his running lines were just fantastic. But I think that's maybe a good call. So looking at Farrell at 12, good. Okay then. So come on then. You can use either your Scottish roots or your Irish roots here, but I would rather use my roots.
But going off the Six Nations, I think I'll say Tuolangi.
Right, a 13.
Yeah. Just with I think just he's a bit more a utility player. Like he can move the ball, but he's also a threat when it comes. He hits that gap. He's going through 9 out of 10 times.
Boys to get him,
Yeah.
Yeah, we did have a chat beforehand, Murray and I, and we both thought you would pick Irish boys.
I was tempted.
Pick Ringrose.
Ringrose as well, but it's a tough one. It's between them two, but.
Can I add another one in? Johnny Davis, the Fox, probably the defender of the three of them, the best outside centre out of the three of them. But
is he fit? Is he fit?
By then, hopefully.
Yeah.
If you're going to go fitness, you have to eliminate Tuolangi then, because he's never fit, is he?
Aye, true, aye.
You do, that would be an interesting. I like what you're thinking about the. I'm pointing that way, and probably when we come to the camera, so just in case. Gosh, I like what Finn Russell there with Farrell. That's the first sort of look I've had at that, because I always had sort of Farrell in at 10, with maybe Tuolangi at 12, and then Foxy at 13, but some really good stuff there. We hope they all get a shot. We hope they all stay fit, as you're saying, and a chance to do that. Guys, it's the bag. Thank you very much for that. I really enjoyed that. We're going to get Maria Looney to take it home, baby.
Yes. So, what would
that tune in the background? What's going on?
So, what would you both say that as a club, Kirkcaldy could improve on in the time that you're maybe away and you might return in?
I'll let you take this one, Tom, while I think about my answer.
Is that you just loading it off of me so you can copy me?
It's what I've done all season, Tom. Come on.
As a team, just having the belief, I think. Because when we played with that belief, we were top class, following the game plan, having the belief in each other and ourselves, just following. We were just not walking over teams, but we were creating the opportunities, and it was different class to watch. It was just some games, it's just as if we didn't have that belief. But yeah, I'd say if we can just build on having the beliefs in ourselves and following the structure. And
yeah.
When you go there,
Yeah.
you go.
You're not anymore. Tell me.
I think the biggest thing we can kind of do as a club is, to be honest with you, I'm giving you what to do with. I'm not sure how to do it. It's somehow get a really functioning second 15, because the whole time when I was kind of growing up, when I was like you said 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 upwards, I was a settings 15, and a lot of the time you even got a third 15 in. And see some of the training sessions, and even at the beginning of this season here, we had a fully gone settings 15, and the training sessions you're able to have with 8 numbers, and it's competition for places. Boys that really want to come to training if it's going to be a purposeful training, whereas if you've got those sessions where the numbers kind of do dwindle that bit, the coaches are having to change their plans, what they wanted to do, and it takes a wee bit out of the session. So if we were able to kind of get another wee influx of players in and get a really get a set out, right, you're in the starting 15 for the settings, you're in the starting 15 for the ones, you know where you are, then you can kind of try and manoeuvre your way about through either working, putting the performances in. Yep. I think that's the kind of next step we've got, because we've got everything else in place, I feel. I think everything else in terms of the club, we can only go upwards, but that's the one thing I think would really kind of kickstart us again.
If I could evidence, I think we're in a much better place now, like what we were a few years ago. So I don't know if you've been watching the games on a Saturday we've been putting on. There was one from 1985 where the Colts were in the final of the Scottish Cup against Jed, a young Gary Armstrong playing against a young Andy Henderson and all that sort of stuff. So my era, unfortunately. And I think for the first time in a long time, we've got 10 Colts coming up this year from junior youth rugby up to senior rugby, and I think that sort of thing really helps, Josh, what you're saying about is a freshness comes in and maybe encourages some guys to say, I'll actually need to get to training because I'm now under a bit of pressure, because I think you're right, we have a few boys have found it too easy to play second 15, and some wanted to play in the first 15 without actually putting the commitment in the fire.
The thing is as well, is that see if you want to play second 15 rugby and that is your thing, that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah.
But it would be okay if there was also still a functioning second 15 in there, so boys aren't just able to say that and go into starting roles, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the kind of issue.
I think one of the things for me is and again, I didn't play at Kirkcaldy, as you know. I have since played at Kirkcaldy in my 50s, stupidly. As you both know as well, I worked shifts for a long time. There was often times I couldn't get away on the bus to go to Gordonians or down to Annan and all these sort of places. And I nearly missed the Melrose game because of a shift. I managed to get a Saturday day shift off. But if I was put in the second 15 and I consider myself a first 15 player, my objective was to be the best second 15 player that week, to either prove to the coaches that were wrong to drop me or to try and lead the seconds. You know, I think people who jump between the first and the second team put a lot of a real responsibility to take that leadership role on for the second, help whoever the captain is, and it makes the whole team, as you're saying, when you guys are playing for the first, there's probably a lot of round about. It's the same if somebody steps into the second 15 and plays and leads and say, come on guys, follow me. You know, I think there's much, and with the amount of youngsters we've got coming, potential for a full under 20s basically second 15 this season, just about. But we still need somebody in there to grab it and run with it, you know, and that under leader, let's go. And I think we're very fortunate that we've got a cadre of 4 or 5 really good, responsible, faithful, well-liked second 15 players. You're kind of Trasses who really pushes the first and that, but it's second 15. I mean, he's just believe he's going to take it, you know, but when he's down for the seconds, he works as hard as any other game I've ever seen him play, you know, and I think that's the thing we need as well, to reinforce what you were saying, you know.
Yeah, and then Thomas, Corgi spoke about the Colts that are coming up there. Throughout your time in the youth section, you'll have played with a lot of the boys. Is there any boys that we should be looking out for that you think have a lot of potential?
All the boys, but you'd be watching out for the wee speedster Jordan. He's got something. If he can get over his wee shoulder, he'll be flying. But yeah, there's a couple of them like Adam and James coming in with the forwards, and then Jordan, Jed, all quick boys who are going to, I think, excel when it comes to playing up the league, because then it'll give them the confidence without having boys like, as you say, in the seconds like Kenny and that. Yeah. You just sort of push everyone as they're pushing themselves and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm really with them coming up. I don't know about you guys. I'm really excited about the seconds and the first this year, because we've had a meeting with the coach, the same as having a meeting with the players on Zoom, which has been a great tool through this lockdown. But they're really enthusiastic. They're looking forward to getting back and training Tuesday, Thursday again, taking what they've done as a coach to the seniors. And I don't think there's any fear, because I think 4 or 5 of them have either are 18 or have done the tests and have played senior rugby last season now. So I think the whole thing will just buzz. And a couple of players coming back from injury. I'm really excited about the season ahead. And we don't have to give it to the centres, because they were the ones that moaned.
That's only Josh.
What a person there.
I'll take it.
So on Saturdays, as a few people might not know, Josh, you do like a wee whinge with Quinny, Finlay and Craig after the games. And there's some tears and whatnot, but could you tell us what the kind of relationship is between the three of you?
Aye. Well, see, I'm a firm believer that in order to get to a conclusion, you have to go through the wrong conclusion about 5 times. Then eventually, out of doing the wrong thing a good few times, like Craig will have his input, which is wrong. Finlay will have his input, which is wrong. Davy will have his. Thomas will say his, and I'll come in and heard all the wrong thing. Then I'll ken what's right. So it's just a bit of an honest conversation, and it's good time that we find it's good to have the conversations right after the game when emotions are flowing. Then have the same conversation maybe on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and you look at it for different. Once you've had a bit of time to sit and reflect, you look at it for different angles, and you see where everybody's coming from. And we kind of, a lot of the time we come to a conclusion, but then a lot of the time Connie has to just kind of put his foot down and say, no, this is what's going on. It's good. See, the thing is, because we are all kind of pally as well, it is that environment where I can get told, like, listen, Josh, you're completely on the wrong, shut up, which sadly happens a bit too much. And it's the same with anybody else.
You stop being in the wrong at that list.
It's a good environment for that, and I think it's how you get the best out of each other, just being comfortable to kind of speak up. And I'd like to kind of think, like say Tam having come into the first this year, within 2 kind of games he was able to say to me, listen Josh, this is what's happening, I came out today, and he'll come up and tell me, and that's a good thing. That's when you can, right, you're comfortable, you are comfortable kind of playing here. Whereas you do get some guys who are maybe that wee bit shy, and it takes a bit longer to get there, but that's kind of what we try and get everybody to be like.
Yeah, and then when you move away from Kirkcaldy, you're obviously going to miss a lot of the playing squad, but is there one player that you're in particular going to miss playing with on a Saturday? Thomas or Josh?
This could be a love fest between the two of them here.
See, I enjoy. It's quite funny actually, because see when I played with Gillis, right? Gillis is one of the best players I've ever played with, but I was in the position that Thomas is in with me, because Gillis would tell me to do all the running, right, Josh, you go there. Whereas I've got Tam, like, Tam, you do the run, you go and do that. So I'd say Thomas for that reason. Thomas does all the hard yards for me.
Picking up on Josh's point, probably him a wee bit.
Oh.
No, let me explain. No, but
just Josh, you let him speak.
Nah, him for usually just telling him, like, him wanting to run it and going, nah, look, this is what we're doing, and then 9 out of 10 times me getting it right. Nah, but if it's for overall last, I'd say Greg. Has to be Greg.
I'd also like to put in Greg. I know.
Yeah.
See, the attitude Greg brings to a game, like he just doesn't care. Like, not that he doesn't care, but like he doesn't want any situation or anything kind of get above him. But then the second the whistle goes, boom, game time, and he's on, and he always has a good game. It's quite. I try to be like that. It's not easy, but I try to kind of be like that.
Yeah, and then so Josh.
Sorry, just before you say that, I think Greg's obviously eking towards almost legend status at the club now. You know, with that sort of thing. And I just wanted to put in, before Murray asks his question, and I'm sorry if I'm interrupting and spoiling your question, but I think, as you discussed earlier on, probably both of you, you know, there was times, Josh, when you thought, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go with this rugby, do I go down south, will the club hate me for it, and that sort of stuff. It must be the same, you know, moving to Glasgow Uni, I see a lot of boys travelling back from Uni to play for the club, I should really do my, because they've done stuff. I think what we must remind the whole of the club, and I'm sure they support it, is that you go on with everybody's best wishes, because you go on and you spread the reputation of the good work that Kirkcaldy do, because when it comes to programmes or what tables and hopefully you keep making it and you make it to, you know, Leicester and Wasps are just down the road for you in the future, Josh, and then the Super Six and
I'll let them come.
well, you know, it's great fun. And I played for a very lowly team, you know, a Newtown team in Glenorchy, but to see Ian Paxton's name on British Lions with Glenorchy underneath it gave us a huge lift. So that's what I would encourage you two guys to do, go on and represent Kirkcaldy like you have done so far, and then keep doing that with the 2 or 3 teams wherever you go into in the future, with everybody's best wishes, because I think it's a tremendous opportunity for you both. Sorry, Muzz, it was me being emotional. Cheers. And I've done it again, twice now. Maybe this big nutter. No, it's not happening. Edit that.
And so what are your aspirations, and what are you looking most forward to about when you both go to your 2 new clubs? What are you looking to achieve?
I'd say probably just looking forward to just getting into learning a new style of rugby again, just seeing how different boys play yet again, and then hopefully pushing for that starting place, and then see where the pushing from starting place goes. Like, it's just rugby is one of them games. We don't know what's going to happen. Like, 1 minute you're sitting on the bench, and then the next somebody gets injured, and then it's your chance, and then you just have to take whatever wee chances you get.
Yeah, I'm kind of the exact same as Tom. I've got no like pre-hang like gone down here. My main thing is I go down here and just kind of give it my all. Enjoy myself is the main thing, and I just want to have a crack and see kind of what I can do. I've got no, as I say, as Tom kind of touched on, I want to get into the first team as early as possible. I want to go down and kind of try and just have a real crack at this and see what I can do. I've got no idea kind of the level this kind of stuff's at. I've had a wee look and stuff, but I just want to go down here and give it kind of my all and no regrets type thing.
Yeah. You'd be 13 in that league, Josh, if you play your cards right.
I doubt the Hammies have not got that in them.
And then, Josh, we've heard that Bury have spoken to you about maybe possibly playing at 10 for some games. We hope you've worked on your kicking from that performance at GHK. I'm like, what? This has never left me.
But it's a bit harsh.
For many years that can actually, what's happened there is Craig knocked the ball on, right? And as he knocked it on, he passed me the ball, so I thought, right, play advantage, I'll kick the ball right out, but it was really windy. So I kicked the ball, we were in their 22, and I kicked the ball. Never went quite out. Connor Wood's on the wing, their winger catches it, goes the line for the field and scores. And I get reminded about it every Saturday by Murray.
It's now on for the rest of eternity as well, so that's
yeah. So that's us now came to the end, and we would just like to say thank you for both of your time, and we wish you all the best with your moves away from Kirkcaldy.
Yeah, do well guys.
Cheers guys, I enjoyed that.
Cheers.